You know, look, it's a great fair. It always is, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. We'll get large attendance, but there's something for everybody. So, I mean, the fair is, it's like motherhood and apple pie in Ohio, right? So we enjoyed it. My family, I don't even know where they are. They just disappeared now. So they're out on the Midway somewhere, and then I'll be back. I think I'm doing something this afternoon with the cash explosion or implosion or whatever we put on. Just kidding. Here we go again, Joe. See, nothing but trouble. Okay.
What else did you eat? Is that a burger?
No, I had the ribeye. It was very, very good. I recommend it highly.
Favorite part of the fair?
Well, I like the natural resources part. I mean, but I'm not going to pick one over the other. I mean, how could you not love the butter cow, right? No, it's all good, and you know, it's. I just hope that we can continue to get city people to say, come to the fair and learn a little bit about agriculture. That's really important. And how about the video? I mean, the video that young woman put together was fantastic. So.
Governor, what are you doing to get the state ready if your former colleagues in Washington can't work out something?
Well, I think they'll get a deal. There's my opinion. There's no way they're going to default. I mean, it might be short term. You know, it's. I've talked to Tim Keene. If there's a short disruption, we're okay. If it's a longer disruption, it causes problems. So I've already talked to Tim about it, and. You know, I mean, if it's a long disruption, it's a big problem. But I don't anticipate that. And the other thing is, I don't want to see them default, because you're talking about really hurting people on Main Street. I mean, you're going to see it. You know, the market will go down. I don't know. Does anybody know what it's doing today? I mean, you know, the market. So far the market's been kind of benign on all this. That's because they're figuring there's going to be a deal. I think they'll get one. I mean, I've been in the middle of this stuff, as you all know, and it's all about will. Where there's a will, there's a way, and right now they're still talking past one another. So people say, well, it takes a day or 2 days or whatever to put a bill together. Now you do a bill, you know, lickety-split if you want to do it. You pass it through the Rules Committee. I'm not, you know, in terms of, you know, Joe made the comment that the CBO, you know, you start calculating savings from wars and things like that. Let me tell you what the problem is. And let's just forget Republican and Democrat politics for a second. You got a huge problem out there. I mean, what are we, 13, 14 trillion in the hole. And this to me is not about political stuff. That is a claim probably on future taxes, which has a significant impact on the economy. I'm here with my girls today, 11 years old, and if we don't begin in a real way to address these huge deficits and this huge debt, it's going to hurt us and erode the ability of America to be strong. This is a battle, in my opinion, in what has to be a long war to tame this debt monster. We did it in '97. Let me tell you a couple things I'm uncomfortable with. I don't like the idea of telling a committee, go and find the savings. I mean, that's how we got here. You have to have the real reforms in mind. Back in '97, a lot of my Republican colleagues were aggravated with me because I said, you go find the savings, but if you don't find them, we've got them. You have to know what the savings are. This is not a game, and this is not partisanship. We have to we must begin to deal with this. And Americans are now beginning to understand it, because it's not just on the front page, it's the lead of the news. And Americans want this done. Now, the problem with taxes on this, and I was there, we got a long history, you know. I was there when Bush raised taxes, broke his word on read my lips. What happens? Well, we raise the taxes, we spend the money. Then when the time comes to make the savings doesn't happen. It gets put off for another day, or it's more smoke and mirrors. I don't really care if somebody is a liberal, a moderate, a conservative. This is a national issue. And if we do not deal with it, we have to deal with it. It's an imperative that we deal with it and make some choices. We've made the choices in our state. You know, we've been rewarded for it. I mean, when everybody else's credit rating is threatened to go down, ours improves because we faced the issues. And there seems to be so many splintered groups down there right now that this has got to be fixed. We did it in '97, we can do it again. And even if it's short term this time, which is what it appears it will be, this has to be addressed on a, you know, on a consistent basis. I mean, it's like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? How do you solve the $13, $14 trillion debt crisis? $1 at a time. But we got to have people on both sides stand up, and they have the will give us the way. But right now, it looks like we're just talking past one another.
Governor, have you spoken about this with the Speaker, whose plan does include a commission? You just said it's no, you don't want to have.
Look, I mean, right now they got to get done what they can get done. I'm a, you know, as you know, I'm a friend of Boehner's, and Boehner gets this. He understands how important it is. Frankly, I don't know this to be a fact, but I think Obama and Boehner were probably fairly close to a deal. But you know, they couldn't bring it. They couldn't bring it home with the with their own respective parties. What I've been supporting all along is the notion that you make your savings up front, you engage in tax reform, you close some of these loopholes, and you lower rates. There isn't anybody that doesn't think the corporate rate is too high. And if we could lower the corporate rate, and as you probably, I don't know if you all remember this, you know, I was like the godfather of corporate welfare reform. I mean, I worked with my party where we closed loopholes. I worked with Nader to work to get some things done. There's nothing wrong with that, but the revenue that comes has got to come later, because I'm telling you, they will always put off making the changes on the spending. And everybody wants the budget balanced, but a lot of people say, well, I don't want it balanced on me. Okay, I understand that. I mean, what are you in the business for? I mean, if you're not in politics to do the right thing, why are you there? So suck it up.
So there should be compromise.
Well, I think, well, there always should be compromise on something that's really big. The problem, though, is, again, I know, let me just say it, this is not ideological for me. If I'm in favor of those closing those loopholes and lowering those rates, okay? But I want the savings, the reform. And when people talk about this, they say, well, you're going to savage all these programs. Well, we didn't with Medicaid. We saved billions of dollars and we produced a better product. There's just not the creativity and imagination to drive a better product at a lower price, because it seems like they're afraid to go after it. It's all nebulous. It's all theory. So when John says he wants to have a commission, maybe this is the best we can do. But I have to tell you, I wouldn't vote against this because there was a commission. But you know, commissions. I mean, we just have commissions all the time. But I think John's trying to figure out a way to take the savings, and we'll have to see where that goes, Joe. But
Last question.